Ah, look at this, guys. This is wicked. So yeah, this is basically working now. We can roll over and... Oh, fuck, I've made a right mess of this. Wicked. So we are nearly stretching the screen now. Let's head up and get that one. I think we might be able to stretch the screen now. Let's see. That's what I want to be able to do. Is be driving behind my tail. Okay, so we need 2 more. That's what I wanted. There you go. And head down for that one. And now we should be able to not crash into the back of our own tail. Oh. Well then. That is interesting. That's a nice little bug for us to fix. Because it's looping itself over. And so we're getting a problem of this. Because the position behind the towel is obviously being told to draw away. Because normally what's behind the towel is where the towel used to be. So maybe what I could do is just test that it's actually a towel. So if this equals snake towel, then set it to -1. I don't know why it's asking me to put a bracket there. Like, that should work, but anyway, so if it's 2, which is tau, I believe. Oh, fucking, I'm not going through this. Let's set default snake length for the minute to equal 20. Otherwise, I've got to sit there and try and gather all the fruit again to get back to that point. Yeah, we'll just let it loop, because I don't know why it draws it downwards. That's a bit weird. But now, yeah, we can run up behind our own towel and not cause a problem. What this should do is this should mean weird stuff happens because we overwrite our head with our towel. But that's not a case that ever should come about, because obviously at that point the game will be over because we'd have crashed into ourselves. Which is what we're going to start coding now. So the way we're going to do this, close orbit this, which is snake.cpp. When we're doing all this test, so when we test to see if the current sprite is 1000, which is the fruit, we're then going to do else if. Now, if this current bit that we're on, dot sprite, of course, equals either body towel or corner, so is greater than or equal to 1, and that dot sprite is also less than or equal to 3, this means we've crashed into ourselves. So result equals 2. Okay, so at this point result is now going to equal 2. And basically all of this lot is if result, oh no wait, don't do else if, because what we can then do is do else and then do all this. All that there. So now what we're doing is we're testing, does this happen? If it does happen, so if we do crash into ourselves, then result equals 2. If we don't crash into ourselves, move the snake as we have been. That's basically what that's doing, and then return result. So then what we're going to do is over in main.cpp, we are going to test sprite return. So if sprite return, oh no wait, because what we'll do is up here. No, not here. So we're gonna have to do it in tick, aren't we? So else if sprite return equals 2, then we're going to handle the case that we've just crashed into ourselves. So let's just put in, so if that, else handle all this. So if we're dead, we're going to do, for now we'll just use C out. I might come back to this at some point and use fonts to display all the score on that on the screen, but that will be later on down the line. This is how we're going to finish this, is just by C out in it. C out, what are we doing? C out, you died. Let's actually like end line a few times. Let's do it like 3 times, and then you died, and then on the next line let's put your score was, and just finish that. Just do a new one so it stays all in a nice comfortable line. Your score was, and then print snake dot get length, and our system pause, and then return 1. We'll have to go and handle what return 1 means in a minute. Oh no, wait, can we just do window dot set close, set should close to be true. So to do that in snake length, we've got to define get length. So void snake get length, return this snake length. We then have to define this over in snake.h, and that's all that defined, and then that should now be happy. Over in our main engine file, which is here, we need window H and window CPP. Let's just close all these. There should be a like, shrink all button. So just shrink all these. What we're going to do is here make a void called window handler set should close ball close, make that glfw set, where is it? That's it. Set window should close. Pass it a window. So this, and I think it's called window, and int value is just close. It should be able to cast between a boolean and a integer. And here we're going to make a void called set should close. That's happy. That's happy. And now that should be happy. So now when we die, it should give us our score. Oh, one thing I do need to do that I forgot to do, let's just close this a minute, is before we do all this, window dot hide. We're going to make another function called hide. Void hide. I'm thinking instead of hide, I probably should do it as like set visibility or something. But yeah, we will do that actually. Set visible. Is that visible? Yeah, visible. And there's glfw set window visible? No, I'm sure there's something for it. Set enable window note. No, none of that. So instead of set, show window just takes window, hide window. So if viz, then do this, else. There you go. So rather than making it so we can have a hide and a show, we're just going to do it as set visibility, or set visible in this sense. There we go. Void set visible and get rid of hide, and then in main in here set visible false, and now run it. So what this will do is this should hide the window first. Of course there's fucking build errors. When do I ever do something without getting build errors? Show window function does not take 2 arguments. Oh, because it doesn't need to be told whether it's true or false, because we're just doing show and hide rather than what we are doing, or we were always doing before. So here we go. What should happen now is we should be able to turn around on ourselves, and when we crash, it hides the window. It says we died. It tells us the length of the snake, which is 20. When we continue, it closes the window. Now, that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. What should I be doing first? So maybe, how do I get it to reset? Or do I want it to just automatically reset? So rather than doing that, should I have a reset function? So in the event that that happens, over in main.cpp, in the event that this happens, it does all this. When you click that, rather than setting window should close to be true, should we instead set everything back to the basics of just being reset, so everything goes back to 0 or default, and then let them start again. And then if they want to close, they can just close it. I don't need to force them to close and reopen it if they want to reopen it. So we're going to make a reset function. Int reset. Oh, I'm not going to do all that though. We're going to do it down here, after tick and after render. So int reset. First thing I'm going to do is this. So we're going to completely reset the level grid. Also, what we are going to do is we're just going to call reset here to make sure everything happens in the correct way. Actually, we'll do that just before we call start, because that makes more sense. Here we just call reset and then set the window visible to be true, and that should work fine now. So that redefines that. What we then do is snake dot set length, snake dot set length to be 3. 3 is going to be our default snake length, I think. And just copy this, make it a void, change the G for an S. This dot snake length equals length, which of course comes in through here, like so. Just copy that over into here, like that. Set that to be 3 by default. You should be fine. What else do we need to reset? I don't know. What do we define in here? Nothing in here really needs redefining. Oh, the X and the Y position. We're going to start it at the center. So maybe do that as well. Should I do this in actually do just a reset function in Snake? That could be better. Yeah, we'll do that, and then rather than setting default variables here, we'll do this in a reset function, and it'll call that anyway. Speed we can leave as being default 1, because we're not really going to change that. Reset, and then take all that out. This snake length equals 3, this x equals 10, this y equals 10, this direction equals 3, I think it was, which is fine. And then in main.cpp, rather than set length, we're just going to call reset. Level we don't need to reset, that's fine. Fruit, we need to redo the fruit. No, because that will happen in tick. Just that sprite return equals 1. So we don't need to call that anymore. We could re-randomize the time as well, I guess. Yeah, other than that, I think that's working. So we can now run this, or we should now be able to run this. And of course we get build errors, guys, because, well, oh, yeah, it doesn't need to return a value. I can't ever think of a time. Ooh, what am I doing? I can't think of a time when we're going to need reset to return a value. If we do, we can always make it do that. So, here we go, guys. Here is the running of the game. I'm going to put the game over on this screen, so that it should show up in a second. I'll leave it. There we go. So there's the game in the bottom corner, guys. And as you can see, we've got a snake of length 3. Now I've got no hope at the minute of crashing into myself. And as you can see over on the left, or for you guys, it's sort of a little bit higher up, there is the Ramsey, I don't pay attention. There is the printout of the frames we're getting per second. We're getting 60 frames per second, which is a bit weird. I haven't limited the frames per second, but it isn't limited to that in the sense that through processing power, I don't think, because otherwise me adding extra bits in it would have sent that down more, but it hasn't. So anyway, yeah, I think the snake's getting to a nice length now. I don't know how long exactly, but let's crash into ourselves. And as you can see there, you died. Your score was 12. Press any key to continue. We hit the space key. And after a little bit of time, we've reset. The snake's back up. And yeah, we're drawing again at a nice steady frames per second. Oh, what happened there? Why didn't it let me eat the fruit this time? Does it... Where does it think the fruit is? Okay, well that's a bit of a bug. Let's crash. Score was 6. Ooh, we're a bit quick. And there we go, we can eat the fruit again. That seemed like a bit of a problem, didn't it? So, what I have got as well is I've got 3 different things, I guess, for the snake to eat. Obviously at the minute it's an apple, kind of. I kind of want to change the grid. I'm thinking of changing the grid to making the black lines a little lighter. Yeah, I think that's an idea. Let's do that. Let's die. Right, and score was 9, so now we can do that, and obviously when we want to quit, we press escape. And we get an error. Yes! So we're back in the code, and what I was going to do, this is what I was showing, what I was originally going to show you, is in here I can have 2, I can have 0, 1 or 2. If we have 0, we have the mouse. When it loads, bear with me. There we go, we've got like a mouse now. It's a very bad mouse. I've never claimed to be an art expert. Let's make this a bit bigger. There you go, so you can see what's going on. Never claimed to be an art expert, but we have the mouse now instead of the apple, which is the thing that we have to eat to get that bit bigger. And of course we can crash into ourselves, like so. We died, score was 5. then we can carry on. And we play a bit quick at first, and then it gets back to normal. The only problem with this at the minute is that we do have to click over onto the console window, but that's not a massive problem, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think this is pretty much where we are going to leave Snake. I'm going to make this available on somewhere. I'm going to find somewhere to make it available to download if you want to play it, if you want to have a mess around with it. But yeah, thanks for watching me and joining me with all this today. Not just today, over the whole series, guys. If you did like it, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. But also, everything of coding now. So, any more work on the engine, devlog as I work on my own game when I eventually get round to it. And I'm also going to start doing more coding challenges. So, at the minute, I'm doing Daily Programmer. Or I have been. When they release a new Daily Programmer, I might start doing some of the backlog until they release more. But I've been doing Daily Programmer, and I'm going to start doing more stuff like this. A series where we make old retro games. I kind of want to make... I don't know if you remember the like spacey game, like you had a rocket on the left and he was flying to the right and you had to shoot things down. I kind of want to make that, so I think that might be next on my list of things to make. So that might be my next coding challenge, but that'll all be coming out on Hoard Coding. I'll put a link to that channel as well in the description. So make sure you go and subscribe over to that to catch more coding videos if that's more what you're here for. If you want the gaming videos, they'll still be coming out on this channel, guys, every day without fail. Mostly, oh fuck, tie myself up in knots here. Hang on. Yeah, so do come and check back with me. Keep an eye on these gaming videos, and yeah, feel free to come and check over on Hoard Coding as well to see more coding videos and hopefully more of this. Also, let me know in the comments, what do you prefer? So you've seen the mouse, you've seen the Apple. Let me just show you the last one. Make it very clear that I say this is my least favourite, and I understand you can't see. There you go, you can see it. So I say this is my least favourite. I like this icon. I really do. This might end up being used in my game in the end. This sort of icon, at least. It might be updated a little bit. I don't like it as the thing that the snake eats. That's what I don't like about it. But let me know what you prefer. Do you prefer the mouse? Do you prefer the Apple? Do you prefer this tree seed thing? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time on Hoard Coding. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.